Hey, Knowledge family, let's talk about R. Kelly and these enablers, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I really want to focus on those enablers, okay? But I wanted to talk on R. Kelly disturbing, um, his disturbing and troubling ways and his behavior that he was doing with minors and everything like that. So I wanted to do this. Y'all notice that I waited to do this because I wanted to do this after I see if he's going to be, found guilty and convicted. Okay? So I waited until it came out that they did charge him and he's guilty of all charges. Okay? So I wanted to wait until I actually found out the verdict, what the verdict was going to be. And so let's start first with R. Kelly, okay? And then we're going to talk about these enablers, because what R. Kelly did, yes, he's where he's supposed to be, but there are also some enablers out here that I want to talk about. So now, let's first talk about R. Kelly. Now, he was convicted and found guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking by a federal New York jury. Okay? Now, he was convicted of all counts after decades of accusations of abuse. Okay? So, I wanted to know if there was something that R. Kelly had going on in his life, mostly in his childhood, that could have created this two-sided type monster. Because you have one side of him gave out beautiful music, and then you have another evil side that gave out nothing but abuse. Okay? And horrific abuse. Okay? So I wanted to go back, and then that's when I saw that his childhood, that him and his brother was abused, sexually abused, by their oldest sister. Okay? Which was very troubling. And I just wanted to get down to the root of how a talented and gifted person can have so much beautiful talent and so gifted, can also have a sick and deep troubling behavior going on inside. So now that's not to excuse anything that he did. Now don't get me wrong. This is that usually when somebody portrays such hard abuse like that and things like that, most likely it was something that was going on in their past. And that's when I found out that him and his younger brother was, touched inappropriately by their oldest sister. Okay? Now, I want y'all to listen to, because I have a clip that I want y'all to listen to with his youngest brother talking about the abuse in the household that they grew up in, okay, with this older sister, okay? And the lady that gave this interview is Tasha K. And so I want to give shout out to Tasha K, because I am using that little clip, and then I'm going to go ahead on, and then we're going to get deep into this story, because y'all already know NJ got a lot to say. Okay, so within this clip that y'all are getting ready to hear, at the tail end of this clip, he also did something with, I think, Dr. Oz or something like that. And I have a little piece of, that clip that I want y'all to hear. And then also, I have another clip about these enablers that I want y'all to hear. So, we got a lot to cover, but we're going to try to cover it, fast and quick. I don't want to hold y'all too long. But anyway, listen to this clip. And you have to listen to what the younger brother was saying about this, okay? And then we'll get right on down to it. Okay, here we go.
Your brother R. Kelly and you,
okay.
Your brother R. Kelly and you, Carrie Kelly, were molested by your own sister.
Yes.
Teresa.
Yes.
Okay, can you? We got a lot to unwind here because I want to understand, like, how old were you when this first happened?
I was around 6. I was around 6 years old.
6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how old was your sister at the time?
Well, she's 9 years older. She had to be about maybe 15.
15 years old. Oh, how many siblings do you guys have total between all of you?
It's 4 of us.
It's 4. So it's 3 boys and 1 girl.
Yes.
Okay, and so were all of your brothers molested as well by your sister, or just you and R. Kelly?
I'm not sure about Bruce.
He won't talk about it?
He never talked about it. And then he's like maybe 2 years younger than her. So Bruce is the second oldest.
Okay, so it's different.
So it's a little different. So it's like they neck and neck when it comes to age, pretty much. Me and Robert is the babies when it came to my sister.
Now, how old were you and you said you were 6. How old was your brother at the time?
Well, I can't, I say he's 4 years older than me.
Oh. So he was 10.
10, somewhere around in that area right there, because I really didn't notice right away when Robert was being held in the house.
Oh.
So I can't, I can't remember like when that took place, but it had to be probably before I turned 7. I noticed that he was in the house, and I get to go outside now.
Now, where was Bruce when all this was taking place?
Well, Bruce never stayed in the house.
Oh, he was always gone.
He was always, no, she would let him go outside as well. But see, Bruce never got in trouble. Like, me and Robert, we have done something in my sister's mind to the point where that was an excuse for y'all had you on punishment.
It's interesting. A lot of parents right now, and I hate to bring this up, are fighting because they said that their daughters are trapped in a house. And so when you look at everything that your brother is being accused of, and the conversations that you and I have had, they kind of mimic some of the same things that your sister did to you. And I kind of want you to explain a little bit of that to the viewers, what you're comfortable with.
Approached me, this is before it actually happened. So she told me to come in a room with her. This is the first time that she attempted to touch me. She told me to come in a room with her. And when I came in a room, she was in a robe.
Okay.
And she opened up her robe, and she didn't have anything on up under the robe. And she told me to come over to her. Excuse me. And as a kid in my mind, I'm confused because I know this is my sister. I'm 6. I know this wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And she's way older than me. And at first I thought she was playing. But she would, she was insisting on me coming over to her. So I was hesitant. And so she grabbed my arm.
Mm.
And she took my hand and started rubbing it on her private part. And I started crying, and I guess that kind of scared her. And so she told me to just go back in the living room, and that was the first time that she attempted to test the water. So the next time I tried to find a way to tell my mom in a way where she wouldn't be looking at me like I done something wrong, if you understand what I'm saying. I told my mom, I said, I said, do you have to go to work? I remember asking her that.
At 6 years old.
Do you have to go to school? Can you stay home today?
Wow.
And she said, no, baby, I can't stay home. I have to do these things to provide a roof over y'all head, and I have to do these things to make sure that y'all comfortable and y'all straight. And she was like, what's wrong, baby? I miss you. And so, as a kid, it was a call out for help, but in my way, it was like sending a bad signal, about a week later.
Okay, this is after the first incident.
This is after the first incident.
Okay.
And, maybe about a week later, she told me to stay in the house, and, this time she was more aggressive.
Oh.
She was more aggressive to the point where she just,
take your time.
She took my face, and I'm short at the time, and she brought me into the room from the living room, and she had the robe on again, and she sit on the bed, and she just grabbed my head like this. And she just took my head and put it down to her private part, and she told me to lick her private part. So of course I didn't know what I was doing.
At 6 years old.
6 years old, and she was like, stick your tongue out, and lick it hard, lick it fast. Instructions, and I just started crying, and
you were crying while this was.
And then she went down and started thank you. She went down and she started giving me oral sex with her mouth. Even as a kid, I'm knowing this wrong, and I'm not condoning this. Human nature.
Yeah.
So of course I'm erected.
At 6.
At 6. And she laid down on her back and she grabbed me. And she tried to make me lay on her, but I was kind of like fighting to lay on her, so she turned around and laid me down, and she sat on me, and she took her hand and she grabbed my private part, and she put it in.
Wow.
About 6 years.
6 years. And your mom never.
She never knew.
Now she's passed. She's since passed away. Did she know before her passing?
I never found the courage to tell her. I never found the strength to tell her what was happening to me. I regret that. I regret that now. I haven't talked to Teresa since, I haven't seen her since my mom died.
Oh, wow.
The last time I spoke with my sister, my son had got shot when it was news coverage on that. She saw it on the news and she actually called the hospital.
Oh.
And that was the first time that I heard her voice in 20 years, almost 20 years.
How did it make you feel?
Eerie, acting a kid, man, state. I'm here
Powerless.
Powerless. Like, she called and the nurse said, are you Carrie? I said, yes. She said, someone is on the phone for you. There was a lot of people calling the hospital because they seen the coverage on the news. And so, I asked the nurse who it was, and she said, your sister. She said, she's your sister.
Oh.
And so, it was like the Green Mile, walking to the phone, to go to the phone, to pick the phone up, and actually speak to her. And when I did finally speak with her, she asked me, was Braille okay? She seen it on the news, and she's praying for him and things of that nature. And she told me that I couldn't help but tell her, Teresa, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you calling and checking on my son, but I just want to let you know that I forgive you.
Oh. Take your time.
I forgive you for what you done to me. And the biggest blowback with that is we all human beings and nobody's perfect.
How did she react when you told her? You
She
forgive her?
said, I don't know what you're talking about.
She denied it.
She denied it. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. She said, I forgive you for molesting me as a kid. I remember everything. And I just want you to know that I forgive you. You're my sister. She told me to not call her, to not contact her. And it's been that way for years since my son was shot and she called that hospital. I feel like she molested me again.
In that moment.
In that moment, I felt like it was more mental than physical this time. Because it's almost like my mama's favorite saying was, don't piss on my face and tell me it's rain. If it's piss, I can adjust and adapt to that. The fact that you told me, hey, I did this and I didn't mean to do it. But the fact that she acted like I was having nightmares to get these memories and it never happened. It was all in a dream. Is what it set me back. Because Robert didn't really get along with me well. My mama would make him take me to the store. If he went to play basketball, take me with him.
This is the other interview
Robert
with him
did
having
some
with
things to me. I remember an incident that he had put me on a swing. My mama told him to take me to the park, and he didn't want to take me to the park, so he took me to the park, and he put me on a swing. But the swing was wrapped around the pole. That means adults took the swing and put it out the way so kids and children won't get hurt on it. It was wrapped around the pole. Robert took the time to get up there and unravel the swing, and then he sat me on the swing, and then he started pushing me. And when he kept pushing me so high, the hook came out the swing and grabbed me in my testicles and flipped me upside down. I had to be rushed to the hospital. I had to have surgery on my testicles. And when he did that, I don't think he had no remorse, none whatsoever for it, because he would tease me about it. when we end up becoming adults and we get on tour, if it's a young lady, if it's a lady that's there at the concert or wherever you're talking, he'll say, yeah, he only got one testicle. Well, it began with my sister with me and Robert. It started happening when I was like between 5 and 6 years old. How did R. Kelly actually scared to really tell them? I told them when I got about 8 years old. I never actually seen with my own eyes what she done to Robert, but I could just imagine as a kid, and plus he mentioned it. He said that he was molested by a family member, and I knew what was happening to me. How did it affect? I think that it affected him in a way where his judgment is threw off. He's a product of him being molested. This is the product. Me, on the other hand, they say hurt people, hurt people. Well, I choose to not hurt people. Even Robert don't come clean and tell whatever it is that they have on him, he will possibly spend the rest of his life in jail. Me knowing my brother and knowing how he is, I believe if they offered him a plea deal right now and he'll walk away with a slap on the wrist, he wouldn't do it. He would do it. Why? Because that means he has to admit he's guilty of something. So that's Robert. Well, there's just like the 2008 case, when he beat the case in 2008. You know, I called him when I seen him on the news, and I said, God gave you another chance to make it right this time. He said, God didn't help me beat my case, my money did.
Okay, y'all, so y'all heard that. And so that Tasha K interview is longer. It's about an hour and something long. So if anybody wanted to hear the rest of that, that's where it is on Tasha K's channel. But it's very, very sad and unsettling that the oldest sister, you know, performed these type of horrific acts against her own brothers. You know, and most likely, if they look into her background, she did this to other children as well. And probably still doing it to other children. Because you see how R. Kelly's mind was messed up for decades and decades and decades. Still probably messed up if he hadn't got professional help. So most likely that sister, who was a very big part of what R. Kelly became, is probably worse. She's probably worse. And she's still living. But I cannot see her doing these type of acts to her own brothers for so long, and she just automatically stops and gets better, you know. And then you heard on there that the youngest brother said when he brought it to her attention after not speaking to her for about 20 years, he said his son got shot. She heard about it on the news or wherever, and she called him just to see how his son was doing. And when he said something and brought it up and said, I forgive you. And she said, forgive me for what? And he said, for you messing with me when I was a child. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. So that shows right there that she has not gotten professional help for her demons. Okay? And so that shows that she's most likely still doing the same thing. Still doing the same thing. She's probably still doing the same thing that R. Kelly was doing to some of these women here. You know, because she didn't get help either, evidently, because the way she was so cold. And so, you know, like she just threw it off like whatever. And then had the nerve to tell him, don't call me, don't contact me, don't nothing. That's because she now don't know, maybe he got somebody listening now. So she don't want to incriminate herself. Same thing with R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? So it seems like she didn't get help all these years either. And these boys are grown, and she is extra grown, because he said that she's 9 years older than them or whatever, and she's still living, and she's still throwing it off as if it doesn't mean anything. So that shows right there that if they look back into her background, she most likely have touched more kids than just her brother. And she probably has continued to mess with minors throughout these years and decades. Probably still doing it, you know? And so it's just that somebody might have done her like that when she was little. Okay? So it's like the recycle keeps going on and on and on. You know, maybe somebody did mess with her when she was little. And then she started doing it to her brothers. And then one of her brothers started doing it to the public. You know? And so instead of R. Kelly getting professional help and getting counseling for his abuse that he endured when he was a child, he became this two-headed evil soul that one side of the two-headed soul made beautiful music, and the other side of the two-headed soul gave out abuse and alarming behavior. You know, so instead of him just getting professional help, y'all, and talking to someone, you know, about what he went through, he held it in and started wreaking havoc on everybody. Okay? Now, I can't say what all he went through as a childhood and what the sister did to him was the total cause of what made him become like this. But what I can say is a troubling, very, very troubling past within there. Okay? And not excusing what he did at all, because he belongs in there. I'm just saying how things can happen, you know, and if it's not addressed, or you don't get help for it, or you don't seek counseling for it, or you don't seek therapy for it, if you don't seek things that happened to you in the past or during your childhood, it will brew inside of you and make you become the most evil demon that people can lay eyes on, you know. And so it seems like R. Kelly wanted young people to endure the same pain and hurt that he endured when he was younger and when he was a child. So he became numb to it, and he started wreaking havoc, you know. And so parents, I just want to tell the parents, siblings, uncles, aunts, grandparents, all these people, please pay more attention to what's going on inside your home and inside of your family, you know. And you know, you really do. You have to pay attention to what's going on inside your home, because things like this could be happening right up under your nose. Because you heard him also say that it's a lot of times that when his mother would get ready to go to work, or his mother would get ready to go to school, or whatever, he will hold on to it and say, no, can you just take off today? Don't go. I want you to stay. And she's like, what's wrong with you? And I just want you to stay. I just want you to stay. So see, sometimes kids are giving you messages right up under your nose where they don't want you to leave them with a certain person, or they don't want to leave you they don't want you to leave them in the house with a certain person. See, you have to start looking at all this. You just don't throw it off like, oh, you all right, I'll be back. I ain't got to go. I'm just going to be gone for about 4 hours and I'll be right back. See, 4 hours is crucial to them if something is going on. You know, if somebody is doing something to them. 4 hours is crucial. 30 seconds is crucial. You know, so sometimes you have to pay attention to what children are telling you, because I know that when a child, you know, hey family, when you take a child somewhere and say, like when my grandkids come over or they over somebody's house or whatever, and you get ready to come get them, if they enjoying themselves or they really like them people, they don't want to go home. But now, if something is going on Boy, they don't want you to leave them at them folks' house. No, I'm going with you. I don't want to stay here. Well, what's wrong with you? I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. And they just don't come out and say, oh, because such and such is messing with me because you heard him. He just didn't know if he was going to be believed or how it was going to turn out or what, you know. So some kids don't say nothing. So you have to sit down and build that trust. And you have to know that something is not right and sit down with your kid and be like, hey, how come you just don't want me to leave here? What's wrong? What's wrong? You can talk to me. So we have to really pay more attention on what's going on, fam, because you know that, you know, kids tell a lot. You can have some kids that don't want to go home and you like, come on, I don't want to go, I want to stay here because they enjoying themselves. You know, they over a friend house and you come pick them up. Oh, I want to spend the night. I want to stay. But when something is going on with a child, they don't want you to go. Or they acting weird as hell. Or they looking suspect, like something ain't right. See, we got to pay attention to all that. And then start getting down to the bottom of it to nip a lot of this stuff in the bud, you know. So that's all I wanted to say about that right there. But you know, instead of him getting professional help, like I said, he just wreaked havoc. He never, like his brother talks about the abuse. His younger brother talks about the abuse. But R. Kelly have said that he was abused, but that's it. He won't say nothing else. He was holding all of that in. And the more you hold it in, the more it go to brewing, and the evil starts to get worse. And then you become a whole nother person. It's a whole nother thing going on. Whole nother evil, horrific type of person will come out. You know? And so that's what I want to say about that. Now, the enablers who was around R. Kelly are just as guilty to me. And you know, a lot of people say, well, are y'all satisfied that R. Kelly is now in jail? You know, is everybody satisfied? Look here. He where he's supposed to be, but no, I'm not satisfied. Because what about the enablers? Because it was a hell of a lot of them. A hell of a lot of enablers around this man who allowed a lot of this stuff to go on for decades. You know? And so that's what I want to talk about is the enablers. They just as guilty as R. Kelly. You know? And they running around here free. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, first, we have to understand that R. Kelly case was racketeering. Okay? Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all know what racketeering is. And a lot of you probably do. But let's go over racketeering before I start with these enablers. Okay? Y'all know I got to put on my glasses for this. Racketeering. An operation or illegal activity a group using to collect money or profits, often through force or threats or fraudulent. Racketeering can take many forms, such as money laundering, financial and economic crimes, kidnapping, sexual exploitation of children, and bribery. Okay? So, that's racketeering. So in there I heard organization, group. Okay? So now, you can't racketeer a goddamn thing by yourself. You need some people to help you racketeer. Okay? Now, can't no one person racketeer. You can't racketeer nothing by yourself. It's some folks around you. As you heard what they said, now that's the meaning of racketeering. So if you show me that this man is guilty and in jail for racketeering, also for his sex trafficking, okay? But racketeering, that means it's more than just him, okay? You say a group, racketeering means a group, an organization, okay? And that's more than one person. So, where's the enablers? Okay? Because see, when you put racketeering in front of his guilty charges, and you put racketeering in his sentence, I'm looking for some more of these enabled. Where was the organization and the group? Where are they at? Okay? Because I ain't heard nothing about them yet. You know, and I know some of them probably done got some plea deals and all that, but we'll get to that, y'all. But anyway, family, so that's the meaning of racketeering, okay? So, who helped R. Kelly get fake documents so he can marry Aaliyah? Sounds like someone else is involved. Sounds like someone else knew. Yeah. So, okay. Who picked up these documents to ensure R. Kelly that the fake ID or the fake documents they got for Aaliyah for them to get married, who picked them up? Okay? Who made it? And knowing that they're making up a fake document so that it can look like she's legal of age to be married. Yeah. It sounds like someone else knew and involved. Okay? Now see, this is exactly what racketeering means. But I ain't seen the enablers. You know? Okay, so now, who picked up them documents? Who did that document to change Aaliyah's status from minor to adult? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, it sounds like someone else knew and involved, okay? Who made all these other type of fake documents and stuff that R. Kelly had going on and all that stuff? It sounds like someone else knew and involved. But see, this is what racketeering is. This is what racketeering is, okay? So I find it very hard that only one man that's sitting on the stand. Okay? Because we're supposed to be hearing that, okay, his case is now, he's been charged, guilty, whatever. Now it's 20 more cases that's finna come up. Oh, no, I ain't heard none of that. Okay? But anyway, that sex tape with that underage girl back in the day, well, it was about 2001, 2002 or something like that when that tape came out of him and this underage girl or whatever, and urinating on the underage girl or some old crap, and you know, messing with her inappropriately and all that type of stuff there, right? You know, that tape right there, okay? Now, that tape, now you got that the parent and nobody else, the uncle, the girl, and everybody refused to press charges on R. Kelly. Okay? Everybody refused to press charges. Okay, sound like somebody else knew or involved. Okay? So now, the parent, the uncle, the girl, everybody refused to cooperate with the authorities when that underage sex tape came out, right, on R. Kelly. And everybody refused to cooperate with the authorities, okay? And then all the charges was dropped. So it sounds like somebody else knew and involved, okay? Now then they say that the underage girl who was in that tape with R. Kelly, that her father continued to work with R. Kelly up until about 2016, 17 or something like that. Okay, it sounds like somebody else knew and was involved. So see, all these enablers that knew what was going on, they not supposed to be in jail too. Come on now, family. They not supposed to be in jail too. Okay, now, I tell you, Now, there was adults who said that they saw R. Kelly and Aaliyah having some type of sexual relations on a tour bus when they go touring and all that stuff when she was underage. Sounds like somebody else knew something, huh? And involved. I ain't saying that. Okay, these are enablers, see. And there was adults in R. Kelly's house, in R. Kelly's studio, all around hotels and on road trips and everything that knew this man was messing with minors. And they said nothing. So it sounds like somebody else knew, you know. And you got some people that was bringing young girls to R. Kelly, bringing young girls to the studio, bringing young girls to their parties and all this type of stuff. All this stuff, you got some people going and getting them and all that stuff. Because R. Kelly damn sure probably wasn't going to get these people. He had people doing it for him. So, that's the racketeering. That's the enablers. That's the organization. And you know, and don't nobody think that these people should be in jail too. You see what I'm saying? Because they knew. You know? And some of them said they knew. You know? And then, okay, so then you have all these people that's bringing these girls to R. Kelly and, you know, taking these girls shopping and taking these girls there. Okay, the ones who taking them shopping, knowing that they underage, taking them shopping and buying them clothes and buying them purses and buying them all this stuff right here. Oh, they buying them everything. Buying them everything for R. Kelly. And they knowing these kids are underage. And bringing them back to where R. Kelly is. Sounds like sounds like somebody else knew and is involved. See, this is what racketeering looks like. See, this is what a illegal crime organization looks like. But it's only one going to jail, and people say, oh, y'all satisfied we got R. Kelly? No! Nuh-uh. Because there's a whole lot of people out here in these streets all across the United States saying, what about the enablers? Because they are the ones who kept it a secret for R. Kelly for decades for him to get away with it for as long as he did. Yeah. Yeah. So now, I ain't satisfied with just R. Kelly. A lot of people out here on these streets are not just satisfied with R. Kelly being in jail. Okay? Now, you know, so you got people who buying these underage children, buying them plane tickets and, you know, taking them on vacation trips. Now, who was buying the tickets for these underage people? Who was going, what limo drivers and stuff went to go pick up these underage kids and the parents and all that? It was a lot of parents who knew what was going on and didn't say nothing because they wanted the bag. Now, it was two things that some of these parents was about saying. They probably like, hey, they said two parents talking among each other, talking about, yeah, you know, we just got a phone call from R. Kelly people, and they said that they like her or his voice, our kid voice, and they want us to bring our kid up there, or they want us to send our kid over there. What you think we should do? Now, everybody knew for decades R. Kelly's background, or the words that they was hearing and chirping on the streets. Okay? And then you sit there and say, well, I guess we can send them. I guess we can send her over there. You know, only two things that happen. Either they really will become famous and we get the bag, or either he'll mess with them and we'll still get the bag. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? Because, honey, either way it go, we still gonna come out good. See, if he make them famous, we still got a good bag. And then if he mess with them, we still got a good bag. Come on now. Come on now. See, that's what I say. Some of these parents knew, but they wanted that bag. And they didn't care which way that bag went. Was that bag going to come from him messing with their minor child? Or was that bag going to come from him really putting their minor child on the music scene and they got the bag from there? You know? Come on now. Come on now. So yeah, it should be a lot of these enablers, and some of them was parents. Some of them was parents. You probably had some parents that didn't know what was going on. You know, the word been out for decades. I can't see how they wouldn't know what was going on, but I give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, it's a lot of them who did. A lot of these parents that did. And a lot of them didn't show up for court when you had a previous case on R. Kelly. See, a lot of them thought that the bag was more important than their own damn minor child. Yeah, And you don't think that some of these people need to be in there too? See, this is what racketeering looks like. And that limo driver that's picking up these girls and all this stuff here. Probably had about 4 or 5 limo drivers. They picking up these minor girls and bringing them back to the house. And I'm going to tell you how the game about went too. And you know R. Kelly telling, hey, I need you to go pick up such and such. And limo drivers say, well, you know what? I usually charge $400 to pick up somebody. But since it's a minor, I'm going to charge you $1,800. Oh, okay, that's fine. R. Kelly got the $1,800. Get a limo driver the $1,800, and the limo driver get that $1,800 and ride off and go get that minor, knowing it's a minor. That's why he jacked the damn price up, and he picked that minor up and bought that minor back over there. And you mean to R. Kelly, and you mean to tell me that that limo driver don't need to be in jail either, especially when he done picked up minors more than one time. You might can fool me one time and say you didn't know, but you done picked up about damn 400 girl minors in your whole time you been working with them. And you gonna say you didn't know they were minors and all that? No. You need to be sitting right on the side of R. Kelly. You see what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot of enablers in this thing. You know, people who was buying these plane tickets and buying plane tickets for minors to get on a plane and bring them here and there and there, and then gonna say they didn't know it. Oh, hell the hell you didn't. And the ones who was dropping the bag to keep the families shut, hush, hush, and all that shit. And you gonna tell me that only R. Kelly is sitting in that damn hot seat? What about the enablers? Because, see, this is what racketeering sounds like. A group and an illegal organization. Yeah, sounds like somebody else knew and involved. Point blank, period. All these enablers, you know what I'm saying? Now, R. Kelly went down, and he deserved to go down, and he deserved to go to jail. But what about the enablers? Okay, now I'm going to let y'all listen to this next clip, because you know I told y'all I want y'all to hear this next clip about this chick here. Name is Jamela Limnux or something. I don't know her last name, but she had an interview with this man called Jim or whatever. And I want y'all to hear what she said about R. Kelly. And then I want y'all to listen to what I'm on this subject now about these enablers. Okay? So now, y'all check this out right here. And y'all listen very, very closely. Okay? Now, see, I'm trying to figure out What about these enablers? Now listen to this.
I can't overstate what it's meant to me. I don't think I can adequately put into words what your work has meant to me as an individual, as a writer, as a girl from Chicago, as somebody from one of the high schools he trolled, as a black woman, and as somebody who works in media, who was an editor at Ebony Magazine for 5 years, that was also located in Chicago and could have also been pursuing this story.
The first great black publishing dynasty, Ebony.
And yet, like every other black publication, essentially except for the Sun-Times at that point, was not taking this seriously and chose to keep their relationships with record labels, with artists related to Robert, with Robert himself,
with the Reverend Jesse Jackson and James Meeks.
With Jesse Jackson and James Meeks. You're going to be disappointed in some people when you read this book. He's like, I forgot a name. He's like, I'm going to get everybody. There's more.
I named everybody. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of villains.
There are a lot of villains and few heroes in this book, which was not Robert's primary.
That wasn't his favorite.
It wasn't his favorite. His favorite was, of course, Kenwood, where he had attended, not graduated, but where he'd attended school in the 80s. He wasn't as present near our campus. The Burger King that he'd gone to was no longer standing, and we didn't have a McDonald's that was in super close proximity. So he was finding people from my school on the weekends. Right, like the young women that I know that were in my class that had been approached by him, 2 of them being approached while we were in high school and 1 being approached when I was in middle school. Similar story. I think one was at Water Tower Place, which is a big fancy shopping mall. And there was a movie theater there at the time, and he had a dog of some sort.
Little froofy dog, yes.
Little froofy dog. And, of course, these twin girls were attracted to the dog. And, the dog is so cute. And, one of his men comes over and says, hey, Robert wants to talk to you. And a similar story with the young lady that he approached when we were in middle school. And luckily, they weren't interested. They simply didn't find him attractive. And I've often said, for all the people that have condemned these girls for making decisions at 13,
okay,
14,
y'all.
15, 17,
so now let's
21.
hear that again.
And a similar story with the young lady that he approached when we were in middle school.
I'm talking about.
For all the people that have condemned these girls for in middle school, and luckily they weren't interested. They weren't interested. They weren't interested. And of course these twin girls were attracted to the
this
dog.
part right here.
The dog is so cute, and one of his men comes over and says, hey,
one of his men.
And a similar story with the young lady, so cute, and one of his men comes over and says, hey, Robert wants to talk to you.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. You heard her say. That's why I kind of went over it about 2 or 3 times. One of his men said, Robert wants to talk to you. One of his men, like he thought these 2 twins at a high school or middle school playground was attractive. And she said, one of his men came over and said, hey, Robert wants to talk to you. So, that's what I'm saying about this racketeering. Okay? And this lady named here, she wrote a book on all this. But I know the name is Jamela, but the last name is like Lemix. Okay, so however you pronounce that last name, okay? But that was her who was talking, Jamela, okay? And I just spelled her last name. But she so-called has a book out, and you heard them on there at the beginning say, there are a lot of villains. Y'all heard them say, it's a lot of villains. And then they called out Jesse Jackson name as a villain. And they were saying so many of these black news articles and places like that was in Chicago, based in Chicago, would never touch the story back in the day because of how R. Kelly high status was and all this. And then they holler, it was a lot of villains in this, a lot of villains. And she said, oh, I got the villains named inside this book. And then they calls out one name that I know is Jesse Jackson. Not sure, don't know, but hey, that's what she got She said that's in her book, that there are a lot of villains that is connected with R. Kelly being able to go this long. So, that's what I wanted to say about the enablers. You know, the enablers. It's a hell of a lot of enablers, but R. Kelly is going down by himself. You know, so now it's a lot of enablers running around free. You know, it's a whole lot of them running around free. And you know what that's for? To set somebody else up who has a bag. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, people saying, well, what about the enablers? What about? Well, I tell you what, the enablers, you know, you got to think how come if everybody know racketeering means a group of people is involved, an illegal organization is being involved, we automatically know that's more than one person. But if only one person is getting stuck, then that means them other enablers are running free for a reason. And they're probably running free because they finna set somebody else's ass up who has a bag. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's exactly what's going on. So see, it's a whole lot of these old rich and famous people. I'm telling you right now, there's a whole lot of enablers running out here, and they finna set some people up. We're going to start hearing about a whole lot of people starting to fall, and a whole bunch of stories going to start coming out from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and all that stuff. And I know it's a whole lot of people sitting up right now scared and shaking like hell because they already know. Once they seen what happened to R. Kelly, there's a lot more people got similar damn stories like R. Kelly. Oh yeah, they shaking in their boots right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, enablers are running loose right now to set up somebody else with that same type of bag. Because see, you got to remember, all these people setting all this stuff up for R. Kelly, doing all this fake IDs for R. Kelly. See, y'all got to remember, R. Kelly said, R. Kelly can't read. So if he can't read, how in the hell is all these fake documents and all that stuff being made up, and all these hotel arrangements and all these dropping the bag and all this stuff like that? The man can't read. So somebody was reading it to him to let him know that, yeah, this is legit, or yeah, this should cover you, or yeah, this gonna keep their mouth closed and this, that. Yeah, you know, the one who dropped the bag off to everybody, keep everybody's mouth closed. Tell R. Kelly, well, they say they want 50,000. Well, R. Kelly said, hey, send them 50,000, keep their mouth closed. They say they'll take 50,000. And then that bag man come back to R. Kelly and say, hey, they just moved the price up to 75,000. Yeah, they just moved it up to 75,000. Oh, not 50? No, 75. Then R. Kelly get this bag man 75,000, but that bag man gives the parents or whoever the 50,000, and he keep an extra 25,000 for his damn self. Oh yeah, that's the goddamn racketeering shit. And you gonna tell me these people didn't know? Y'all fool somebody else, because you damn sure can't fool NJ with that right there. That's how the game go. Especially when you talk about racketeering. And it already said racketeering is a group and illegal organized crime. So R. Kelly wasn't doing all that by himself. I can tell you right there. And I'm telling you, these enablers are running around now free to stick somebody else who got the bag, or use somebody else who got the bag, because as soon as R. Kelly money ran out, all this shit started happening. And I'm going to tell you right now, those same enablers are running around in that rich and famous world, and they finna start setting up some more folks. And you watch and see. And if it ain't them, it's some people, it's some other enablers sitting around the rich and the famous right now who is waiting to drop the dime on their ass. I'm going to tell you. See, that's what they did. They showed everybody that the enablers, ain't nothing going to happen to the enablers. See, just the person they mainly want. Ain't nothing going to happen too much to the enablers. So that lets all the other enablers who are around certain rich and famous people, that if they drop the dime on their ass, they ain't going to get in trouble. They just want them to drop the dime. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm gonna tell you right now, R. Kelly. No, not now. One of these enabler people took not one responsibility for the actions that they was taking inside all this mess with R. Kelly. Not one enabler came up and took responsibility for the mess that they also participated in with R. Kelly. Not one of them. And I'm going to tell you right now, R. Kelly should have Nino Brown everybody goddamn ass. He should have Nino Brown everybody ass. You mean to tell me that you gonna be sitting beside me doing living off my money, done drained me dry and all that, then you start talking to the police and tell them about me, but you're not telling about what you did? Now, it's a difference if you tell about me and you didn't do nothing, but you done did a lot of shit too. But then you gonna tell on me. He should have Nino Brown everybody goddamn man. He should have been Nino Brown. He should it ain't too late. He ain't too late, because they say he got some more cases in another state or something like that. He should Nino Brown everybody goddamn ass. I'm telling you right now, I call them all out. That accountant right there in the blue shirt, that one right there, he put all this stuff together right here. Oh yeah, sure did. And that chick right there, that's the negotiating chick. She put all this stuff together right here. Yeah, she was negotiating with the parents, with the minors and the parents, and all that stuff there. And she used to make things work for me, because see, remind y'all, I can't read. See, R. Kelly should have been Nino Brown and folks. He should have turned into Nino Brown. This shit here is bigger than me. This shit is bigger than me. He should have turned into Nino Brown and started telling everything. Oh yeah, all those receipts there that these parents and the minors was going shopping and stuff, he did all that. Yeah, right there in the purple and flowered shirt and green and yellow shirt, or look like he's sitting in a fruit basket. Yeah. He did all the, shopping receipts and all that stuff. Oh, and she used to bring the parents and the minors and stuff over there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, this thing here is bigger than the R. Kelly. See, he should have been Nino Brown. He should have been Nino Brown, because let me tell you, when an enabler know that they are part of something, and they trying to pin it on somebody else like they didn't have no type involvement in it. Now, they done enabled this man for decades, and then sit back and act like then start telling and stuff, but ain't telling what the hell they did. Oh, hell no, he should have Nino Brown. He damn sure should have. That auditor over there, he was the one counting all the minors' head to make sure they was in the house. Yeah, They all organized this whole shit, because y'all got to remember, I can't read. So, they all organized this. I go down, I'm taking everybody down with me, because that's what he should have Nino Brown they ass. I'm trying to tell you, he should have. But I'm telling you, because enablers, see, I don't like enablers. Because enablers sit up there. See, enablers are still out here doing what they was doing with R. Kelly. As long as enablers are free, they are still wreaking havoc. Because guess what? They are the ones who will look at something terrible, look at something dangerous, look at something that they know is inappropriate, and won't say nothing, because they are getting a bag at the time. And then when the bag run out, then they tell on a person and then run right back to another bag. Oh, hell no. They ass need to be right up under the damn jail, too. Oh, hell no. See, everybody want to talk about R. Kelly. They want to tell the story about R. Kelly charges. But let's talk about the way I did today. I wanted to reach back into R. Kelly childhood a little bit, bring it up to where it's at, and then talk about these damn enablers, because it's more than just R. Kelly. Yeah, it is. So you cannot racketeer shit by yourself. So see, if you ain't gonna charge nobody else, y'all need to take racketeering off. Because is a gang of folks, a group of folks, an organization. And that sister, she should be sitting right on the side of R. Kelly right now. Open up another cell. She need to be 45820. Yeah, inmate 45620. She need to be inmate that and sit her ass down now, because she ain't got no help. She ain't got no damn help. She still messed up in the damn head. She's still a danger out here to me. She's still a danger out here to these people. I don't give a damn if she's 80 years old. She's still a damn danger. She could still be using her hand to fiddle with folks. Fiddle with minors. Her ass need to be up under there too. Sure hell did. That's the main person who need to be up under there first. Then the enablers next to R. Kelly. Yeah, Because see, she the one that created half of the demon that R. Kelly is. Yeah, So, when you talk about these enablers need to be right on the side. So when people say, are you satisfied with R. Kelly's case and him being in jail? You know, people act like we should be satisfied because R. Kelly is in jail. Because more than R. Kelly did this. More than him did this. He couldn't have kept it a secret this long without enablers. Yeah. So, let's pay attention to if we ever see some enablers getting charged. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's some enablers out here right now that was working with him, is out here trying to find the next rich and famous person to set up too. And then there's some rich and famous people right now got somebody sitting on the side of them that is an enabler, and that enabler done seen that enablers get away with everything, and they finna crash and burn their ass too. Yep, sure is. Just watch and see. But that's all I got to say about that. What about the enablers? Because they are just as dangerous as the predator. They are. So what about them? So no. It's a lot of us around in the United States that is not satisfied with just R. Kelly. What about the enablers? That's all I got to say about that. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And we all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block y'all from y'all goals and success. Bye-bye.